बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैसे हैं आप लोग? उम्मीद करती हूँ खैरियत से होंगे, ठीक ठाक होंगे, मज़े में होंगे। ओके स्टूडेंट्स, आज क्लास 5 की रीडिंग सुनेंगे, ठीक है। यूनिट 13 की लेसन 3 है, उसका नाम है किडनैप्ड। पार्ट 1 एंड पार्ट 2 दोनों की रीडिंग सुनते हैं। रीडिंग बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा, लेकिन रीडिंग सुनने से पहले आप लोग मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें ताकि मैं जब भी न्यू वीडियो अपलोड करूँ आप लोगों के पास नोटिफिकेशन आ जाए।
Unit 13, Lesson 3, Kidnapped, Part 1. Listen as you read the story, then answer the questions. What did David go to look for? What did he find?
Start. Kidnapped was written by R.L. Stevenson and set in Scotland in 1751. At the beginning of the story, David Balfour's parents died, so he went to live with his uncle. The next day, my uncle and I had a small bowl of porridge and a glass of water for breakfast, lunch, and supper. He did not speak much to me, but was clearly thinking hard. I often noticed him looking at me while pretending to do something different, and he never left me alone in the kitchen with the locked chest in which, I supposed, he kept his money. I did not like the way he looked at me and began to wonder if he was a little crazy and perhaps dangerous. After supper, he said suddenly, "Davy, I've been thinking. I promised your father a bit of money for you before you were born. A promise is a promise, and so I'm going to give you £40. These last words seemed very painful to him. He added in a kind of scream, "Scots!" A Scottish pound was the same as an English shilling, and there were 20 shillings in an English pound. I could see that his story was a lie, so I laughed at him, saying, "Oh, think again, sir. English pounds, surely." "That's what I said," replied my uncle quickly. "Go outside for a moment and I'll get the money for you." I was smiling as I went out, sure that he would give me nothing at all. It was a dark night and I could hear wind in the hills. There may be thunder later, I thought, not knowing how important the weather would be to me that night. But when my uncle called me in again, he counted 38 English pounds in gold into my hands. It clearly hurt him to do it, and he kept back the last £2, but I did not mind that. Surprised and pleased, I thanked him warmly. "Now," he said, looking cleverly at me, "you can give me something, Davy. I'm getting old now, and I need help." "Of course, sir," I answered. "What can I do?" "Well, go outside and climb the stairs at the other end of the house where the building isn't finished yet. Go up to the room at the top and bring down the chest that you'll find there. It's got valuable papers in it." "Can I have a light, sir?" I asked. "No," he said sharply. "No lights in my house." "Very well, sir. Are the stairs good?" "They're grand," said he. "The stairs are grand." Out I went into the night. As I was feeling my way along the outside wall, there was a sudden flash of lightning, then black darkness again. I found the stairs and started climbing. I was about 15 meters above the ground when there was another flash of lightning. That was lucky for me, because it showed me that the steps were uneven and that I could easily fall to my death. These are the grand stairs, I thought. Perhaps my uncle wants me to die. Now I was very careful and I felt each step with my hands before I put my foot on it. A few steps later, my hand felt cold stone and then nothing more. The stairs ended there, 20 meters above the ground. I felt cold with fear when I thought of the danger that I had been in. Sending a stranger up those stairs in the dark was sending him straight to his death.
Unit 13, Lesson 4, Kidnapped, Part 2. Listen as you read Part 2 of the story. Then answer the questions. Why was David angry? Why was his uncle surprised?
Angrily, I turned and felt my way down. There was a crash of thunder and suddenly the rain came down. At the bottom of the stairs, I looked towards the kitchen and could see, in the next flash of lightning, a figure standing still in the doorway listening. When the thunder sounded again, louder than before, he ran back inside and I followed as softly as I could. I found him sitting in the kitchen, drinking water straight from the jug and shaking with fear. Quietly, I came up behind him and, putting my hand suddenly on his shoulders, cried, "Ah!" My uncle gave a kind of broken cry and fell to the floor like a dead man. His face was a strange blue color, and I began to think that he really was dead. At last, his eyes opened, and he looked up and saw me. "Oh man, are you alive or a ghost?" he cried. "Get me my medicine, Davy. It's for my heart." I found the medicine bottle and gave him some. He soon began to look a little better.